because lately I've been forgetting to record my seminars, my workouts, and everything. I forget that I have to hit record. I always think that it does it automatically. It does not. Anyway, so today was the first day of Fit and 42. I see some of you guys finishing your meals. You're probably on your last meal or close to it. Now, what supplements are for, before I go into anything, before I talk about any supplement, the benefits for you, anything that I say right off the bat is not meant to substitute real food. I'm telling you that as a coach from the bottom of my heart. Obviously, it helps our business when you pick up our supplements. And that is something that I highly recommend you do because we do a lot of research into our supplements to make sure that we're giving you quality. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're taking a supplement. If you buy a cheap supplement and you're drinking rice powder and it's not actually doing anything for you, you might as well have not done the supplement. So, but at the end of the day, food is better for you than a supplement. You should never replace a supplement for food, right? Our protein shakes are not made for you to replace food. Supplements aren't made to supplement your diet, to supplement your daily eating. Okay? And remember, right now, on technically everything is a diet, but you're not on a diet like the keto diet. And right now on Fit and 42, you're not on a diet like the South Beach diet. Right now, you're on a lifestyle eating plan. Right? So don't look at it as a diet because the reason, and we talk about this in Fit and 42 seminars, my alumni will know, every diet works. Pretty much every diet works. But the reason why everyone gains the weight back is because they have an end date up top, right? That's where there's a disconnect with a lot of nutrition and a lot of eating and whatever someone's doing and exercise. Somebody will go gung-ho and they go crazy and they're like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds or I'm going to do this and that to do it. And then they do it and they're like, all right, cool, I did it. I'm done. But unfortunately, you have to keep doing what you did to get there to stay there. So that's where there's a disconnect. So that's why we say lifestyle eating plan and lifestyle eating over a diet because we don't want to have an end date. You shouldn't have an end date in mind, right? Because I want you to do your 10 pounds, your 20 pounds, your 15 pounds. I want you to lose inches. I want you to do that. And I want you to keep it off because that's the most important thing. So without further ado, let's go into supplements. Now, all of these are the ones that I highly recommend that you should be taking. I'm going to break them all down in some pretty good depth. Again, if at any point you have a question, shoot it to me in the chat. That's probably the easiest way. But number one, the number one supplement that you should be taking is your Fit Whey protein. Number one, if you're going to take any supplement, it is your Fit Whey protein. Now, the reason I say that is because you getting enough protein, and I know you've heard it, enough protein every single day is the most important thing you could do. One of the most important things you can do, right? It's a huge part of your daily diet and your daily, your body needs it to recover. Is your daily nutrients, a lot of them come from protein and the amino acids that you get from the protein. Now, the reason why we say the protein shakes and why that should be your number one is because let's just say that you don't get enough protein from your meals, which you are with Fit and 42 on your meal plans, but that is including a protein shake after your workout. If you mess up a little bit with your protein, that protein shake is going to help you get the proper amount of protein for that day. If you notice, there is no gas in the Fit and 42 meal plan. I really hope, especially if you're doing Fit and 42, I really hope that you went through your meal plan already and you checked it out. Now, when it comes to the protein, if you're not intaking, and it comes down to a specific number, if you're not intaking that number and you're taking less, you're not giving your body enough to recuperate what it has and build more. And when I say build more, I don't mean turn into a bodybuilder, right? But part of toning up, and that's everybody's goal, right? There's very few people that want to get huge and they want to have the big old arms, especially the ladies. They don't want to have the bodybuilder look, but they want to be toned. They want to be lean. That comes with being lean. That's building muscle, and that's burning body fat. And now the more muscle you have, the easier that's going to become. So if you're recuperating muscle, you're recovering muscle, and you're feeding your body enough to build on top of that muscle, you're going to be able to do that. So that's why you should be taking the Fit protein, the Fit Whey protein, especially because it takes 30 minutes to digest the liquid protein. It takes 30 minutes to digest the liquid protein. It takes 1 hour to digest a solid protein. So like some of you guys right now are eating salmon, some chicken, some ground turkey. It's going to take your body an hour to digest that. That's why about an hour after you eat food, you usually use the restroom. If you're, which actually in phase one, you'll be using the restroom quite a bit with those beans. That's a lot of fiber, but that's why, because it takes your body an hour to digest solid protein, and it takes 30 minutes to digest liquid protein. So, you always hear about a window, and you have to have something within a window after you work out, or you're going to lose out on it. It's not necessarily that you're going to lose out on it. It's that you have depleted your body after a workout. You've depleted your body. Think about how you feel after workout. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. My muscles are sore. That means your body's depleted, right? And you might feel like you have low blood sugar and you're starving. And usually you get the I gotta eat right now feeling. That's why you're depleted, and you need to feed your body. Now, the faster you feed your body, the faster you can get working. So that's the thought behind that. So you slam that protein shake right after you work out, and that's why it's on that meal plan. Right after you work out, you slam that protein shake. Your body's going to be able to start using that a lot faster. Now, I love that I got this question. Can we still take a different brand that has whey in it? So, you can. I highly recommend that you don't. And here's why. Now, when it comes to protein powder and any supplement, you get what you pay for. Now, and I'm assuming that 2020 is still the same exact way. Most and almost all supplements are not tested by the FDA and actually don't have to be inspected by anybody in their factory and how they're made, right? So there's no sticker on them that says, boom, hey, this is real, this is good, right? And because of that, unfortunately, perfect world, everybody would follow the rules. And they would do exactly what they're supposed to do, and they would care about you and me, and they would give you exactly what you're supposed to be having. But it's not a perfect world, and unfortunately, not everybody works that way, right? Us at Fit and 42, we want the best for you, and so that's why we're going to really check into our stuff, and that's why we'll pay more to get it so that we can give you more quality, but not everybody's like that. So what ends up happening a lot of the time, and this is something that I always bring up, is with protein, technically, as long as it has protein, it can say it's a protein shake, or it can put a certain number, right? Now, when you go to the store, and Walmart and Costco are big ones that do this, they'll have a large jar of protein that has about 60 servings in it, right? And it sometimes tastes great. Sometimes it probably doesn't, but sometimes it tastes great. And it's only like $20. You're like, oh my gosh, that's 60 servings. That's 2 months for $20. When something's too good to be true, it usually is. And what ends up happening with these is they call it amino spiking. Amino spiking. And so what they do is that they put other nutrients in it that aren't necessarily proteins or amino acids. And we'll go into amino acids in a second. But they're not amino acids that you need. But because it's an amino acid, they can count it as a protein. And actually, if you've gone on the grocery store tour in Fit and 42, when we get to the orange juice, and you see that it says high in calcium, and even foods do this, they only have to put a specific number of calcium for them to be able to legally say it has calcium. And it's a very low number. And so that's what they'll do, and it's not that much calcium. And unfortunately, a lot of products do this. Protein powder is not an exception, right? So that's something you have to think about is, yes, you might be saving money, but are you actually doing anything? Is that protein doing anything for you? Is that supplement doing anything for you, right? I can tell you right now, us as a gym, and this is something you got to think about in the back of your mind, us as a facility, our goal is to get you results, right? We're not a supplement store. We're not a GNC or anything like that, right? So when you walk into a GNC and that guy's like, oh, you got to be taking this, or you walk in the store like that and they tell you they got to be taking everything under the sun, their job is to sell supplements, right? Our job is to get you in shape. So that's why we tell you, we hit you with these real facts so you're aware, because they usually won't hit you with facts. And that's why I want you guys to be aware. So amino spiking is a thing, and it's something that is very cheap to do for companies, and that's why they do it. And one example that I bring up every time I talk about protein, when I was in high school, which I keep saying, every time I say, I'm like, oh, it's not that long ago. But I'm starting to get to the point where it's starting to get further and further away, and this is weird. But when I was in high school, I was halfway through high school. It's when I first started working out. I wanted to be big. I wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So anything Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing, and look up his videos, I would do it, right? that time, there was a protein company or a supplement company that was selling supplements at Walmart, right? That is the biggest retailer in the United States. Now, at Walmart, this protein had Arnold Schwarzenegger, boom, slapped right on it. It was him, and it was his series of protein. It was his series of supplements. You take it, you're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I didn't know anything about energy back then. So I got it. It was $20. My mom bought it for me because I was 15 years old, and I would drink it. After work, I was drinking it all day. I didn't know how to do it, and it tasted just like Nesquik, and it was the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. I thought it was amazing. And it had like 30 grams of scoop, something like that, some crazy number. Well, it turned out like a year or two down the road, that was fake. That wasn't real. They were amino spiking, right? And I actually don't even think they were doing that. It turns out that protein was like 4 grams of protein, and the rest was carbohydrates, and those carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, aka sugars. So it was Nesquik. So that's what you got to watch out for. Arnold Schwarzenegger had this big thing to do with them. They sued him. He sued them because he was just the cover boy. He didn't have anything to do with it. So it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger's fault. But this happens, and this is a very real thing that happens. You know, there's a documentary. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it used to be on Netflix. The base of the documentary was about performance-enhancing drugs in sports. But in a section of the documentary, right in the middle of the documentary, the main character of this documentary, the guy that's giving the documentary, shows how easy it is to get into a large chain retailer. And he literally gets bottles, generic capsules, which are very easy to do, and he has workers fill them up with rice powder and puts it as a fat burner. And he gets all the way inside of a national retailer and fills up shelves with them. And he just did it for the documentary. This happens all the time. Nobody checks it. There's no checks and balances with it. Because as long as it has a dietary supplement on it, it's okay. It's not a food. Nobody's got to check it. So that's something you have to be aware of when it comes to price. And so some people always send me photos, and they're like, hey, is this super generic brand that's super cheap because it's a very large quantity? Is this good? I have no idea. There's no way to tell. There is no way to tell. More than likely, it's not good. More than likely, if it's super cheap, not worth your while. The name of the documentary is Bigger, Faster, Stronger. Bigger, Faster, Stronger, if you guys want to watch that. But remember, it's the main purpose, it's about 85% on the performance-enhancing drugs in sports, which is actually very fascinating. And it goes into baseball and basketball and like over the years. It's a very well done documentary, but it goes into the supplements quite a bit. I'm sure you could just look up that portion on YouTube. But that's something you have to be aware of. Now, whey protein. Some people will usually be afraid of it because the whey comes from milk. It is skim milk, and so what happens is when you get a glass of milk and you sit it on the counter, and then you come back to it in about 20 minutes, it has a little layer on the top of it. Ew, that layer is skim milk, right? And you can use it for recipes and things like that. But all the nutrients float up to that layer, and so what happens? They take that layer and they powderize it. They put it through a process. And then they, turn it into whey protein. They add some flavor to it, and then it becomes the whey protein that you see. But usually that process becomes expensive, and that's where spiking comes in because, hey, if we just get some of this and then we spike it and we fill it with other stuff, now we have more stuff to sell. If we have more stuff to sell, we make more money for the lower amount of cost. So that's what ends up happening. Does anybody have any more questions on protein? I hope you guys are all taking protein. Awesome. You guys are great. Now, the number 2 supplement that I highly recommend, especially right now, is taking your fish oil. Taking your fish oil. Now, the reason being, fish oil is something that you actually need. Omega-3 is an essential nutrient, right? And you can get this from eating fish, and you can get this from doing other things. But, I'm sure there's a ton of you in here right now that have bad joints. And I'm 23 years old, and sometimes my wrist hurts, right? Fish oil is phenomenal. It actually helps, lubricate joints. It helps you recover. It helps the movement of the body. It helps your muscles. There's very little that fish oil doesn't do. But fish oil is one that gets faked not faked, but cheaply made a lot of the time. It's not necessarily that they get fake, because, even though a lot of times it does, but it's about how they're made, right? You see, are we still doing the Zoom workout in the AM? If we are doing the Zoom workout in the AM and walking and running in the afternoon, should we drink a protein shake? No, I would only do it after your workout with your coach, Christy. Can you eat fish? Yeah, absolutely, you can eat fish. I'm assuming that was fish. But with fish oil, it helps your organ like so much. Drinking water and taking fish oil helps your organ. You have to realize that if your body is getting everything that it needs, it's going to work the way that it's supposed to work. So when you feel yourself having issues and you're eating everything you're supposed to be eating, or you think you are, and you're still not necessarily making progress, that's what starts to happen, is that you're usually missing out on something. It's usually fish oil, and it's usually multivitamins. We'll get into a second. Let me answer this question. Eat fish oil, and yes, you can do both, and I highly recommend doing both, Becca. Eating fish and taking fish oil. Is there a difference between fish oils? Absolutely, yes. The type of fish, yeah, it'll give you a different kind of nutrients. Just like different kind of meats, like a steak will give you different amino acids, while still give you protein. Will give you different amino acids than a chicken would and a salmon would, and that's why we mix up the kinds of proteins that you get, because not every protein gives you the same kind of amino acids, which we'll get to in a second. But the same thing with fish oil. But one thing you want to look out for is some kind of symptoms that you'll get from this fish oil. Does it necessarily smell bad? Does it make you burp up the taste of fish? Not always, but most of the time that's usually a sign that you have some bad fish oil, and the ratio of DHA to EPA is off, and you have to readjust that. I want to say it is your DHA should be higher, but don't quote me on that. But you have to watch out for that ratio. And that's everything. And usually it'll go the other way, again, because it's cheaper to do it. And so when you can get a bottle of something that lasts you forever and that you didn't pay too much money for, that's you got to watch out for. Oh, by the way, going back to protein, there is no difference between whey protein for men and whey protein for women. I'm surprised nobody. Your doctor prescribes fish oil. I have to take it every day. That's awesome. That's really good. That's probably some very high quality fish oil. But there is no difference. Okay. And the only reason I bring this up is because for the longest time, my mother-in-law was paying like $80 for like a month's supply of protein for women. And it was a pink bottle. It was a pretty bottle, but there's no difference. There's no difference. So it's not going to turn you, not going to make you grow a mustache or a beard or anything. Nobody asked it, but I'm going to address that. Now, multivitamin, and you know what, with your fish oil too, it is very essential for your muscle recovery to have enough fish oil and for you to feel good and feel good when you move. A lot of the times you start to get aches in the shoulders, the elbows, the knees, which is one of the most common problems that we run into when we train any kind of client. It's because you're not having enough fish oil. Your body doesn't have enough to lubricate that joint, right? And to move and to keep your body healthy and working the way it's supposed to be doing, right? Body in motion stays in motion. Now, it also boosts your metabolism, which right now is the goal in Fit in 42. And that's why we have you eating every 3 to 4 hours, because we have to boost your metabolism. Because if we're boosting your metabolism, you're going to be able to burn body fat and build muscle. And that's how you tone up. That's how you tone up. So you want to make sure your metabolism is high. So why wouldn't you do everything that you could possibly do to boost that metabolism? That's another reason to take fish oil. Now, your multivitamin. Your multivitamin is ridiculously important, because right now, and one of the reasons I bring it up, right now you have a lot of vegetables to eat in your Fit in 42 meal plan. Now, in your Fit in 42 meal plan, you need these vegetables so that your body can work the way it's supposed to work. All the vitamins under the sun that you need, right? Including vitamins from the sun. But you need to be having enough vitamins that you can continue to perform the way you need to. Are multivitamin gummies okay? I don't know. Again, it comes with what they put into them. Now, what you have to realize with vitamins, now, guys, usually I can't answer any questions. Not because I don't want to answer any questions about outside brands, but I don't know. Again, I don't know how they're made. I don't know what this company does to produce their supplements, right? So I wouldn't be able to tell you if a brand is good or bad, because They could be the best fish oil or the best vitamin in the planet. Usually, if your doctor prescribes it, that's pretty good. But otherwise, if you get it over the counter, you get it at a store, I would have no idea. I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't see how it's made and I don't know what's really going into it. So, but anyway, when it comes to you eating vegetables, you need a certain amount of vegetables every single day, right? It is so difficult to get enough vegetables and produce every single day. And then on top of that, making sure that you have that every single day. Because how fast does that produce go bad? Right? Especially if you're getting organic produce, that stuff's going to go bad quick. So you can stay on top of it, which I hope you do, stay on top of it. And you get enough vegetables every single day. But you might have gaps, and you might run into gaps that you don't even mean to run into. And if you have these gaps, you're going to be hurting your body. And you're not going to be giving your body exactly what it needs. So the multivitamin acts like a safety net. And it boosts your immune system tremendously to have enough vitamins. That's why your doctor recommends that you take a multivitamin. Especially right now, everybody should be taking multivitamins to boost your immune system, right? So that's why fish oil is important. It almost becomes a safety net for you every single day intake of vitamins so that you're continuing to move forward and continue to progress. You don't want to miss out. Now, that's awesome, and I would highly recommend those three. Gummies usually don't have as much vitamins in them, so just compare the labels. Yeah, with gummies, they tend to actually have more sugar too, anything like that, and it tends to have a little bit more sugar to take the gummies and stuff like that, and that's only going to hurt you. That's not going to do you too much. And if it doesn't have enough multivitamins, I don't know. I haven't taken gummies in a long time, but you want to get the most bang for your buck always. What happens if you have an allergic reaction to the multivitamin? I am okay with the fish oil, but the multivitamin. Then what I would do is I would take thick greens instead, which we'll get into in a second. But the multivitamin, by the way, guys, has a little bit of niacin in it. Niacin kind of gives you a little bit of pins and needles for a second. And that's why you might feel like, oh, I'm hot, kind of feeling. Just to address that. But these are the big three that I recommend are essential. These are essential three that you should have. We hear that word a lot now. Now, my favorite supplement ever, I love it, and I sell out of it all the time in my studio anyway. It's Fit BCAA. I love BCAA. What BCAA stands for is branched chain amino acid, right? Now, what an amino acid is, it's a building block to everything. Amino acids make up you and me. They make up proteins. And it's the amino acid that repairs the muscle, right? So when you make those little micro traumas, it's actually amino acids. So what ends up happening is that your body, you intake food, like let's just say your protein shake. You intake a protein shake. Your protein shake then gets digested. Then it goes through a process called protein synthesis. It gets broken down. It gets broken down into amino acids, and it gets sent out to the muscles, and then it repairs it. The more muscle you have, the more you burn body fat. Then you burn body fat, right? Yeah, BCAAs are awesome. That's what it is. It's a very simple form of protein. But what I love about it, because it's so simple, is that your body responds to it ridiculously fast. It doesn't really have to digest it as much. Now, it shouldn't replace protein powder, and it should never replace food. But when you're working out, especially after workout, when you deplete the muscle, like I said, you should have that BCAAs, if not while you work out. If you have BCAAs at home, tomorrow when you work out, I want you to put a half scoop in your container of water and sip on it while you're working out. And you'll notice an immediate difference. And the reason being is because now you are feeding your body and your muscle constant through that workout. So while you're fatiguing it, you're feeding it, right? And not in a way that you would feel when you drink protein. Because when you drink protein, you kind of get that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm feeling my stomach. It's a different feeling because it's a simpler nutrient that's coming through you. So you're recovering that muscle. Now, what branched chain amino acids are, your body produces amino acids. Now, there's a ton of them, but only 3 are essential. And 3 are essential for muscle growth, I should say, because there's more. Really, 5 are essential, but 3 are essential for muscle growth. That is valine, leucine, and isoleucine. Now, these 3 are what produce the muscle growth. They recover the muscle, and they get you from stopping that feeling of being sore so much. And it makes that a lot better for you, and it makes it last a lot shorter for you, and it recovers the micro trauma. Now, remember, the faster you recover, the faster you can work out again. The faster you work out again, the faster you get stronger, the faster you get fitter, and the faster you burn body fat. So that's where the salt comes into play. Now, those three essential nutrients are very amazing for you. Now, your body produces a lot of amino acids. Unfortunately, it doesn't produce any of them that you need, right? Because your body needs to intake that. Now, you get those from foods, you get them from proteins, you get them from all that. But you want to have that because that's going to help you produce and maintain muscle. It's all about maintenance. And that's why you want to make sure you get enough protein. That's where a lot of people go wrong, right? They stop eating, they're not getting enough nutrients, they're not getting enough protein, so they're not going to maintain muscle. Don't maintain muscle, you're not going to be able to burn body fat. I bought and had my first BCAAs today. It was pretty tasty. Yeah, they're awesome. You can take it whenever you want. You could drink BCAAs all day long. Repeat it or write the 3 essential BCAAs. It is Bailey. Actually, you know what? Let me send this in the chat. Bailey. I hope I spelled these right. Isoleucine. Oops, spell that wrong. I freeze it and make it nice. Yeah, you can make it into slushies. That's not the first time I've heard of that, and I hear that it's awesome. With the BCAAs, my favorite is blackberry lemonade, because in my opinion, it tastes just like lemonade. It's awesome. It's almost just like lemon water. That's my favorite. What I actually like to do is dilute it when I drink water throughout the day. So if you have trouble drinking water, what I actually do, Christy, I actually like the taste of water. I like the taste of nothingness and just cold. So I like drinking water, but I like drinking something with a little bit of flavor a little bit more too. So what I do, I don't like strong flavor, especially when something I drink. So I actually add about a half scoop, like my 32-ounce water bottle of BCAAs, because then it gives me like the flavoring of like dropping lemon in there. So it's just enough where it's, like, oh, but I'm still feeding my body and I'm still getting enough nutrients for the muscle. And that's what it's all about. And so that BCAA comes into play. You want to be taking that fit BCAA, which, by the way, I found out that I have a ton of Laquita. The BCAAs, that's where I highly recommend watering it down. If they taste too sweet for you, water them down. You don't have to do the full serving, especially when it comes to BCAAs. I would water it down, do half scoops here and there, quarter scoops here and there. So at least you're getting that extra nutrient. Remember, you can do that with anything. I mean, I would still take the full scoop of protein, but if the flavor is too much for you and you're one of those, put more water, put more almond milk. As long as it's unsweetened, you'll be good. To water the flavor down a little bit, because I'm also one of those that doesn't like too sweet. Find it too sweet. Again, with the watering down. Now you want to make sure you're on top of those BCAAs. Now, fit greens, and this is one that I talked. Yeah, add extra water. Add extra water, and then let me know. I'd love to hear how it works for you guys too. Fit greens. Now, fit greens are so important because they're going to give you nutrients. They're going to give you vitamins. My favorite, I believe I only have one flavor. I believe we can only order one flavor too. Is the apple banana. It almost tastes like green tea to me. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what it tastes like to me. I don't drink tea too often though, but that's what I assume it tastes like. But what a probiotic is, it's actually a pre and a probiotic. It's going to boost your digestive system. And again, I always bring this up in an orientation for Fit 42 and any kind of nutritional seminar that I do, especially when I talk about this. Your body, remember, you eat food, you digest the food, protein synthesis, nutrients get sent to the muscle, you burn body fat, right? So you have these kind of steps that you take. Now, if you do not digest your food, which if you're taking too much, if you're eating too much, you will not be able to digest your food. So that's why you have specific amounts that you're eating right now, especially in Fit 42. If you're doing too much, you don't digest it. If you don't digest it, it stops here, right? If you digest it and you don't get enough protein, it stops here. And then you don't retain muscle and you don't burn body fat. So that's why the pre and the probiotic come into play, because you want to be able to digest it. Now, a prebiotic versus a probiotic. This is where there's a lot of questions. A prebiotic is like a fertilizer, right? Before you grow a plant, I don't know, I'm not a botanist, but before you grow a plant, you fertilize. Right? You need fertilizer to grow corn. To grow it. By the way, you shouldn't be eating corn. But you grow anything, you need to fertilize. Right? So it's a foundation for the house. Then from that fertilizer, the live bacteria that is probiotics and live bacteria come out, and that's what breaks down your food. Digestion is key to burning body fat and getting nutrients. Everything that I talked about, and that's why I put this one last, everything that I talked about is not possible if your body cannot digest it, if your body cannot process it. Right? Yes, we do. That's what fig greens are. Fig greens are probiotics. It's a pre and a probiotic. Now, another thing that it does is boost your immune system. Right? That's why when you get sick, they say, drink tons of water, because that water sends a lot of the bacteria in your mouth into your stomach, and then, or a lot of the germs or whatever you have in your mouth in your stomach, and then it'll burn up in your stomach, the bacteria. That's what it's doing. And it boosts your immune system in that fact. So that's why we dropped that. We released like an immune system booster pack, which included the fish oil, the multivitamin, and the fig greens, because they highly boost your immune system. So it helps you fight off severities of colds, severities of flus. Now, if you get these, you can get these from food as well. Taking a supplement also helps. But foods that it comes with, and by the way, it also helps with irritable bowel syndrome. I'm not speaking from experience, but that is something that it helps with. But now, with prebiotics, foods that are prebiotics, you can get any of the nutrients, because all supplements are derivatives of food in some way. Now, the way you can get a prebiotic from food, you can get it from tomatoes, onions, garlic, artichokes, a lot of ingredients, right? Stuff that you add to your main dishes. Those are prebiotics. Those are foundations for that bacteria to grow in your stomach. Now, that sounds scary and that sounds bad, but that is good for you. There's some good bacteria. You need those good bacteria in that belly working for you. Now, probiotics, examples of probiotics, the bacteria that you need. Yogurt. That's why some of you guys have Greek yogurt in your meal plan. Cottage cheese. Kimchi. Pickles, fermented pickles. There's some bacteria in there. And kombucha. Drinking kombucha. I'm not a big fan of that, but something if you like that, it's going to help you. And those are going to boost your digestion. Remember, digestion is key. That is a good sign. Unfortunately, when you go to the bathroom a lot and it's not a long trip to the bathroom, that's a good sign. All right, and that means you're digesting food properly. Now, if you have issues with that, you should be taking fig greens all day long, right? I highly recommend doing it in the morning, right away, or right before you go to sleep. And make it routine. Take your serving, make it routine. It's going to help your vitamin intake for the day, and it's going to help you digest your food. And that's going to help you get all the vitamins and all the nutrients you need for that day. How would the fig greens fit into our meal plan? Would it add calories? No. Not anything that's going to be bad for you. So any of the supplements you can add into your meal plan. Now, when it comes to your meal plans, that's where you guys want to be sticking to it to a T. That is your roadmap. There are ways to make that roadmap better, and that is by using supplements, obviously, right? So like you can use the regular map, right? You can, if you wanted to get from here to Stephanie's house, and you use the roadmap, you probably get there. And not probably, you would get there if you followed it to a T. That's how your meal plan works. But if you use the GPS on the phone, it's going to help you out, and it's going to be a little bit easier to get there. You're still going to get there, but it might be faster and it might be a better trip. That's how supplements work, right? It helps you out. It's almost like that GPS. Now, remember, the more you do, the more you get, right? Now, you don't want to overdo supplements, and that's something I want to go over to. When it comes to overdoing, you just want to take your serving with your protein too, everything. So I'm going to go through each one and talk about overdoing it, right? With your protein, stick to what it says on your meal plan, or do a scoop at a time if you're going to add it in, which I really wouldn't add it in other than what it says in your meal plan, but I know it's on everyone's meal plan. The reason being, protein has 4 calories per gram. It's about 100 calories a scoop, which they're good calories, right? But it is adding calories, and it makes a world of difference. Especially a lot of you guys, well, not a lot of you guys, every single one of you guys is on a specific caloric intake. Now, when you're in a deficit, which most of you guys are, it's going to cause you to burn body fat, lose weight, which is what you want to do. If you were to pass a number and go into a surplus, then you would gain weight. So if you take too much protein throughout the day, you could push that surplus and you could gain weight, and that's not something you want to do. On top of that, if you're taking too much protein at once, it means you're eating too much chicken, too much steak, you're drinking 3 scoops of protein powder, you shouldn't be. Your body's not going to be able to digest it. And again, if your body can't digest it, nothing's going to happen. So that's the danger of taking too much. And what's when it comes to protein. With multivitamins and fish oil, you don't want to overdo anything either. You don't want to hurt your kidneys. I want to say it's 2 times when you take a pill form that it goes to your kidneys. You don't want to keep slamming things, and you don't want to overdo it. You actually can overdose from vitamin C. Add chia seeds and flax seeds with our Fit Whey protein. I would be careful with those seeds. I'm not 100% on what the nutritional facts are on seeds. I want to say that it adds. I think Stephanie. I think you asked me this question a long time ago, and I think here. I'm going to mute Stephanie. Stephanie.
It added a lot of fat.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So you want to watch out for that because it does add fat. And now when it comes to fat, guys, when it comes to adding fat into your daily intake, fat is more than double the amount of calories that protein and carbohydrates are. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrates, 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. Right? So that's going to add up real fast. So that's where you want to be careful. I just wouldn't add those seeds at all. But when it comes to vitamins, you don't want to overdo the vitamins. You want to hurt your body. Take your serving size. Take what is on your meal plan. That's what's been specified. If it's not directly specified on your meal plan, take the serving size. That's it. That's what I recommend doing. Right. Same thing goes with the omega. Same thing goes for that. Same thing goes with Fit Greens. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You don't want to overdo anything because too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing, but it should be mixed in. Right. So don't overdo. I know sometimes people get excited and they start drinking protein shakes all day long because they want to get huge, but no, it's gonna hurt you. Thank you, Casey. That's me a while back. Adding chia seeds. And if you're not getting enough good fats in a day, then yeah, I would recommend it because it's gonna help you out a little bit. But right now, most of you guys are all on a meal plan already. So because you're on the meal plan doesn't have it in there, and it will throw you over the numbers for the meal plan. Do we still take? Absolutely, you still take your BCAAs. All of these supplements you can take on your Fit at 42 meal plan. By the way, I realize they still have it on staff. But yeah, you can absolutely take any of these supplements on your meal plan. Does anybody else have any questions, guys? Speak now or forever hold your peace. It doesn't have to be on supplements either. You can ask me questions on food, on your meal plan, anything like that. I think I saw some eyes lit up. Awesome, guys. Well, this is all stuff that you guys should be adding into the mix. Make sure you're taking a supplement that diet. Don't replace the diet ever, 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 ever. That's never good advice. If you skip a meal, can you add it? No. So the question was, if you skip a meal, can you add it to the end? Skipping a meal is like having a cheat meal. It's like eating a burger. Because what it does when you skip a meal, it signals your body, I'm not going to eat right now. I might die right now. So the next time I eat, I'm not going to burn that off. So that's what skipping a meal does. So you don't want to add it on to the end. You just want to do whatever it takes to not skip that meal. And now a good thing, and I almost forgot that I even did this. I brought one of these with me. Have emergency meals with you so that this doesn't happen. This is a good emergency meal. Bam, my favorite, 1 bars, protein bars, right? they shouldn't become a regular part of your diet, and you shouldn't plan for them. Because if you plan for an emergency, it's not an emergency, right? So use them, carry them in your purse, carry them in your car. That way, if you miss a meal, slam it. Yeah, Quest bars are awesome too. You just want to turn it around and look at the back and make sure your protein's good, your carbs are good, and pretty much it should be the highest thing that's in it is your protein, which in this bar that I have here is the same as my carbs, and it has very low fat. That's what you want to look for. But that's what you should do. Never skip a meal, guys. Ever, ever, ever. What's the best substitute for the bell peppers as a snack? I would take another snack. You could do, again, a protein bar. A protein bar would be a good snack. You could look at the other days and take other snacks from the other days. For the egg scramble recipe, is it only white? Yes. And by the way, 2 tablespoons is 1 egg white. That's one that comes up a lot. 2 tablespoons of egg whites is 2 tablespoons of egg whites is 1 egg. Sorry. 2 tablespoons. Quest bars, okay. Can you recommend some bars? Actually, the 2 that I recommend for a fact. This one is called the 1 bar, BAM, and Quest bars. Now, I don't like Quest bars, so that's just a flavor texture thing to me. I like these a little bit more for the flavor texture, but they're both good, and you can have both. Now, don't add it on to your meal plan. Remember, these 1 bars are emergencies. Okay? They're emergencies. They're not snacks. They're not extra snacks. If you're replacing a snack with it, different story. No to the Power Crunch bar. Power Crunch bar has a lot of sugar in it. Sugar basically turns immediately into fat. Sugar is a simple carbohydrate, and a simple carbohydrate is extremely easy for your body to digest and process, and it immediately turns into fat, basically. That's why you get a sugar rush, actually. So if you eat a bunch of candy, no, Martha, actually. So when it comes to the sugar rush, if you eat a bunch of sugar, your body processes it very fast and you get that sugar spike, and that's why you feel all that energy. Rather than when you eat, let's say, a sweet potato, you get this kind of cleaner, longer lasting energy because it's more complex, takes your body a little bit longer. Again, same thing with supplements. You just want to keep your eye on what you're actually getting in your protein bar and the value of your protein bar, right? Pretty much anything that you put in your body, you get what you pay for. Except for like water, but pretty much anything. Does anybody have any more questions? All right, guys. So you guys have been awesome. You guys are amazing. If you guys have any questions for me, I'm sure most of you guys have me on Facebook. If not, I am Coach David Molina, David Molina on Facebook. You can add me. You can message me. You can always ask me questions. I'm always going to be here. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for joining me. Give me a little virtual fist bump. Boom. We're going to huddle just like we do at the end of every class, okay? Hands into that huddle. Get your protein. Get your supplements. Reach out to your coach. See when you can pick those up. And on to Let's Go Fit in 42. Ready? 1, 2, Fit in 42. I'm actually in La Quinta. All right, guys. Thank you. See you later, guys. See you later, Christy. See you later, JL. Dieta, thank you for joining me. I know it's late there. See you later, guys. Thank you. Bye.